let me see here. If I do this and I'm clicking on this, let's see if that works this time. All right. It worked, yay. This goes to show you anybody can do this. So my apologies. So tonight, what I wanted to talk to you about was LifeVantage. And as I was telling you, what brought this company to my attention was a surfer. For all of you out there that think that doctors and pharmacists and all these people need to hear this from other doctors and pharmacists, it's not true. What they need to hear is words from their friends. They need to hear about people that care about them. And the surfer told me about this company because he knew my background. He had a similar background, and he showed me a study. And when he showed me this study, it stopped me in my tracks. I'm just going to tell you what it did was it showed me that there was a company that had a product that was branded, and it was being used in a study that was a US study on a particular situation. And guess what? It was on my gene, on that gene that they talked to me about that was a problem. And it caught my attention because I had never seen, in all the research and all my background, I had not seen anything that showed me that there was something that were nutrient-based, especially a brand named product. So I did a little bit more research in that, and that's what brought me to the attention of this company. So let's talk about that a minute. Remember when I was talking about how the doctors had told me it was about a gene in my family? And I was told all through school that 95% of our gene expression is stuck where it is, and we're stuck with it. Well, guess what? At LifeVantage, they found some information that they thought was really important. And it was that question, that single question: is declining health something we have to simply accept as getting older? Are we stuck with the genes from our parents? And you know what? We know that genes contain incredible abilities to keep our bodies healthy. But you know what? What LifeVantage had discovered that was so amazing was that they had discovered a way to activate some of those abilities of those genes. And that was very contrary to what I had been taught in school. So what are we going to talk about tonight? We're talking about activation. We're talking about the ability to take a look at some of the leading theories on health decline and see if there's a possibility that we can actually have hope to do something about it. So let's take a look first and foremost. The first theory of aging has to do with something called oxidative stress. And what oxidative stress is, basically, it's all the things that are bombarding our system, bombarding our cells, that are creating junk in our cells, if you will. They're called free radicals. And when those free radicals are in our cells, they start bouncing all over the place and causing a lot of damage. And it doesn't matter, as you can see here, what the tissues are. It's a cellular issue in all of our tissues. And so the solution that we have is that our body can combat oxidative stress by using antioxidants. And those are the antioxidants inside our bodies, but the antioxidants we produce. The problem is, as we get older over time, guess what? Those start to diminish. And as they diminish, more and more damage occurs. That's some of the problems that we can see. So what are things that cause oxidative stress? Diet, smoking. Remember those medications I talked about that I was helping people with? Remember first, do no harm? Well, that's a problem. And then we had inactivity, rigorous exercise, alcohol, toxins, and wireless signals. You think we have any of that going on today? We're sitting in front of computer screens, phones. We've got wireless things everywhere. And so as a result of that, look at all the different areas that take a hit from oxidative stress. It doesn't matter if it's your heart. It doesn't matter if it's your brain or your kidneys. They all are affected by oxidative stress. So what can we do about that? Well, let me tell you what. LifeVantage had found an answer to that, and it was breakthrough science. In fact, it was such breakthrough science that ABC investigative team came out, and they wanted to find out what they were looking at. And they You know, I don't know if you've ever watched that show, but I don't think they were there to try to support them. I think they wanted to come and find out if it was really true or if they could really debunk them. And so what I'd like to do, if it's okay with you, is take just a few minutes and have you watch a part of that video, because it's a part of this company's history and it tells you a little bit more about this breakthrough science. So let's see if we can get.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment. For me, it begins with a blood test.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company.
They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing. The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress, and we all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells.
So, doctor, how often do I take these?
And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment. It's called Protandim, and tests have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age, but taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old. So just what's in this seemingly incredible pill? Well, actually, its roots are very humble. Protandim is a combination of 5 plant ingredients. Some you may know: green tea or turmeric.
Oh dear.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock? Who doesn't? Kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing. The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress, and we all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes 2 antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells.
So, doctor, how often do I take these?
And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment. It's called Protandim, and tests have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age, but taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old. So just what's in this seemingly incredible pill? Well, actually, its roots are very humble. Protandim is a combination of 5 plant ingredients. Some you may know: green tea or turmeric, a spice used in Indian cooking. Others, Withania somnifera and Silybum marianum, are more exotic. High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses.
It's at the very center of many diseases: liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma, all of these, strokes, heart attacks.
Even mental disease.
Yes.
Depression?
Alzheimer's disease, depression.
But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, It's time to get my results. The result? My level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically. Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after. Have we turned back the clock? Maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed.
We do know that oxidative stress is part of those disease processes. I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old and find out that I should have taken it.
The company that makes Protandim says its tests show the pill, made from ingredients used for centuries, is absolutely safe. For more, go to our website at abcnews.com.
All right, let's see if I can get this back in action now. So, the thing that was amazing to me after I had seen the video, when I first saw that video and it was brought to my attention, was the whole thing about making the blood of an 80-year-old look like the blood of a 20-year-old. That oxidative stress is a huge issue. So of course, I wanted to know more about it and I did more research. And guess what? That's when I saw the peer-reviewed journals, 25 to date. But I can tell you at the time when I looked, there were probably 16 or 17. But the thing that struck me was, here's a branded nutritional product. Up until then, I had never seen any based on a branded product. Yes, there were research that was done on nutritional nutrients specifically, but not by a branded product. And so when I took a look at some of these, the molecular aspects of medicine, and taking a look at the Journal of Dietary Supplements, and then looking at oxidative medicine and cellular longevity, there were so many different areas. I was like, you know, I really need to spend some time taking a peek at this. And I did, and I was amazed. Now, for those of you that would like to take a look, go to pubmed.gov and put in Protandim, and you will see these publications. I will tell you, they're going to be probably a language you've never heard of before. But for the people that do research and do look at these, this was a big deal. And then I went on to look at the 25 peer-reviewed journal publications that were out there. Harvard, American Heart Association, Northwestern University, all these different places. And the thing that struck me most was that the company that made this product was not paying these people to do this. They were doing it on their own because it was such breakthrough information. So what are we talking about? This oxidative stress, first theory of aging, is a big deal. It's important. And what they found when they put these 5 ingredients together was they acted synergistically together, and it helped flip the switch on our genes. Remember I talked about the genes? This is flipping the switch on the NRF2 pathway. And why that's important is that's the pathway of that antioxidant production. That's how we're going to handle oxidative stress at a much better way than anyone else has been able to see in the past. So what's in it? Milk thistle, bacopa, ashwagandha, green tea, turmeric. I often have people say to me, well, I'm on some of those things. And that's great, but I'm going to show you in a minute why it takes more than just being on one of them. It's the combination, like grandma's cake recipe. What goes into the oven is not what comes out. And that's kind of how this is. So what do we see as a benefit when we start seeing the oxidative stress reduced, flipping these genes? We're going to see that oxidative stress reduced 40% in 30 days. It's just unheard of. And then, you know what? Has anyone been hearing anything lately with what we've been going through about glutathione? Glutathione is the top antioxidant in our body that does so many things. It goes up by 300%. That is literally unprecedented. It also helps support the body to repair and rejuvenate its own cells. I'm all in on that. I'm just saying, I think that is a key to anti-aging for sure. And it also helps with detoxification and producing those very important enzymes. More importantly, as a pharmacist and a pharmacologist and a nutritional formulator, what I loved was I had one question. I knew how pharmaceuticals can make the same thing over and over. They're synthetic. It's easy to reproduce it over and over. But how do we know our quality on this product is going to give us the same results over and over when those ingredients come from farms in the Far East and in all over the planet? How do we know what we're actually getting? And that's why I love that little teeny tiny seal you see down there, the BSCG, the Banned Substance Control Group. That is a very high level certification. It's used for professional athletes that they have to test for doping. It's really important, and it's very selective who they choose. We also have the NSF, which is guaranteeing me that they know every time what's on that label is in that bottle. Well, for me, that was just a really big deal because that was my background and I knew how important it was. So just to take a peek real quick, when we're talking about what the difference is, taking things on the outside like blueberries and turmeric on the outside, those are going to reduce those radicals, those nasty little guys, 1-to-1. But when we're taking the NRF2 synergizer protandem, you're going to see the enzymes that are going to eliminate millions of free radicals over and over. And that makes such a substantial difference in what we see in our body. In fact, take a look at this. When you see those are the individual amounts of components that you can see in terms of the gene expression of those antioxidants. And they do a little, but look at what happens when they're all together. 18 times. I'll take that, okay? That's what sets this product apart. And then this is where I really got involved with the company. I saw a study from Washington State University on this NRF2 pathway, this master regulator of detoxification. And this was their conclusion. It may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and the most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. That's crazy. Now I remember raising my hand and saying, first, do no harm. And now I'm looking at something that gives our body hope to activate, to help take care of itself again. Now I really felt a moral obligation, right? So LifeVantage didn't stop there. Instead, they kept going, knowing there's other theories of aging. The second theory of aging is mitochondrial decline. And we have these little guys, you probably remember in science class, these little squiggly guys inside the cell are mitochondria. They are responsible for the energy. They're the power in each of our cells, right? They take the food and the oxygen and they make energy. Well, guess what? Every cell requires that. So when we have that going on, when there's damage to those mitochondria, what has to happen is our body has to make more. We need to help take care of those damaged mitochondria. And that process is called mitochondrial biogenesis, which is basically making new ones, right? The problem is, as we age, guess what? It starts slowing down again. So why not take a look and see, are there ingredients that we can combine? And sure enough, they put together something called the protandem NRF1 synergizer. And that's because that pathway is responsible for mitochondrial biogenesis. So just think, now we have a means of helping take care of oxidative stress and helping our mitochondria to work better to give energy to the cell to do its function. And so what's in it? Acetylcarnitine, quercetin. Has anybody been hearing about quercetin lately? Yeah, it's very healing to the cells of our body. And grape skin and seed extracts, alpha lipoic acid, and how about CoQ10? All of those things together, again, work together synergistically to help do something that we don't see individually. And that is going to be increasing the energy, that's the ATP, that usually slows down during cellular aging. And by doing so, it's supporting chromosome integrity. I don't know if you know much about aging, but our DNA and our chromosomes matter. Keeping chromosome integrity is huge. And so as a result of that, you're going to see improved sleep and of course, good cellular repair. And this is going to be very beneficial to our brain health, supporting our circulation and our cardiovascular system. And again, notice We have that BSCG seal of approval and the NSF. So we know what's in there and we know by how much, all right? So of course we couldn't stop there. There was one more theory of aging that was really important. I call this the CEO of what's happening, and that's sirtuin activity. Have any of you been hearing all the buzz lately about intermittent fasting? The whole idea behind intermittent fasting is to help bring back our sirtuin activity, to help raise that back up again. Why is that important? Because cells create waste. And when they do, it starts slowing down, it bogs it down. The sirtuins are helpful in removing this. And it's a process called autophagy. All right, that's very helpful because we don't want cells to keep going that are damaged, because if they keep going and they're damaged, they start doing other functions they shouldn't do. And that's not good. So we want to have the healthy benefits that the sirtuin activity can create. And some of those that are the most important are things like healthy DNA function. That's so important to have optimum health, to be able to have maintenance of good cholesterol levels, and also to have good cardiovascular health and healthy inflammatory responses. Those are all super important. That's what sirtuin activity does. Of course, that starts slowing down. So what are we going to do about that process? We've put together yet again another product. This product flips the switch again, this time on something called the NAD pathway. The NAD is what's required to help bring on this sirtuin activity, and it is responsible for it. So of course we want that to happen. Remember I talked about intermittent fasting? If you do intermittent fasting, the whole idea is that on average, that brings about 90% of your sirtuin activity back within about a 24-hour period. Believe it or not, when we did our testing and we saw this, it even surpasses that, bringing back 100% of the activity in a 24-hour period. And we don't have to starve. We don't have to be under a doctor's care. So I'm all in on that, that's for sure. So what's in it? Teocrine, wasabi, cuprous nicotinate, and olive leaf extract. Of course, you don't need to know any of those things. What you need to know is that when they come together, again, synergistically, look what we're going to see. Healthy longevity. Who cares how long you live if you're not healthy? That's what we're talking about here. Staying healthy and having hope of staying healthy with mental focus and concentration, being in a positive mood, and you know what? Having that healthy inflammatory response handled, as well as the cholesterol staying in healthy ranges. So all of those things together, we put them into a bundle of 3 products. And you guessed it, that's called the Protandim Tri-Synergizer, right? 3 of them. Now, each of those things activate genes. We have an NRF2 gene, we have an NRF1 gene, and an NAD gene. And as you can see in teeny tiny numbers there, you can see that they are activated individually by those products. But look what happens when they're all together. Again, synergy matters. We're not talking 1 + 1 anymore equaling 2. We're now talking 1 + 1 is a whole lot better. Look at the difference in the NRF2. It goes from 40 or 50% up to 800%. Those are things that make significant impacts in our health when our body is activated. So just to go over it real quick again, the NRF2 synergizer is the oxidative stress theory. The NRF1 is the mitochondrial theory, and the Protandim NAD synergizer is the sirtuin theory. And together they make for just an incredible means of giving our body the activation it needs to take care of itself again. Now we also have some other products. I love our Axio Brain product. Who would not want that NRF2 activating our brain? It takes care of brain fog and all those kinds of things. We also have very clean products. We have clean shampoo and skincare products. Look up Think Dirty and you'll see how clean those products are. And you know what? If we're talking about all these different environmental factors having effects on us, doesn't it help when we can diminish some of those bad things by utilizing things that are clean? And then, of course, we don't want to forget our furry friends. We have Pet Tandem, which is amazing, being the first NRF2 product for pets. And let me tell you, I have a 19-year-old dog, and she can tell you that it works pretty good. So one last thing I want to talk about product-wise, and that is one of the brand new products that just recently was released, and it's called the Daily Wellness. I wanted to bring this up because it goes along very well with the Tri-Synergizer in terms of helping optimize being proactive in our health. This is much more about being proactively healthy with a proactive, healthy immune system versus reactive recovery and having to try to figure out how to get your way back there. So let's look real quick. I have so many people come to me with my background and say, look, there's so many things out there, what I'm supposed to take. I don't know. I've got all these bottles. I don't know where to buy them. I don't know how much to take. So we took all that guessing away and we put that in that beautiful little jar in a powder form so that you can put it in water. You can mix it with Axio and some water. And it's great because the whole family can use it, right? It's going to give you the proper amounts of zinc, vitamin C, a small amount, which is what you use daily, and D, but along with it are the elderberry and the fermented yeast extract. And what we're doing with this is we're taking care of all three legs of the immune system. And there's no product on the market currently that addresses all three at the same time. Again, proactive health, right? So what do we see from this? Proven to support immune strength. It's a postbiotic. You know how we'll talk about prebiotics. We need to feed our good probiotics in our gut. Our probiotics, we need to enhance by taking more of them when they get destroyed. This is the postbiotic. And what it is it allows for the metabolites to be there and put back things to keep our gut from being so leaky, like the mucus. Think of it as flypaper, where you're going to actually be attracting things that shouldn't be going into our system, getting stuck there. And then when they get stuck there, guess what? Thanks to the zinc and the C and the D, it's going to signal our immune system. When it signals the immune system, that's going to send the army to attack the right things, not the wrong things. That's called healthy immune system. That's called healthy inflammatory response. And that's what you see, all three of those systems being covered by this product. So I get a little excited about it. I'm sorry for those of you that aren't geeks out there in science, but really, truly to be able to have that in one easy to take product and help not have your cabinet cluttered. And think about every one of those products when they're individual, they have excipients and lots of extra other things with them. We're getting rid of all that extra excess. So we have less detox. We have less we have to get rid of out of our bodies. And we have a good way to hydrate. This is going to get more liquids into us. So it's a really great answer for today in being proactively healthy. So having said that, what we're here tonight about is wanting to tell stories better. And the reason that we wanted to talk to you tonight about LifeVantage is because you know what? Stories are better when you share them. I wanted to share with you the story about my sister. I hated that I had no control. I don't know that these things today would have helped, but I learned a lot from that. I've learned our bodies can be activated. I want to be able to share those stories. And if you're like me, you may want to share those stories too. And if you do, you may want to take a look at LifeVantage and say, well, is this something that maybe I'd want to focus on? Why LifeVantage? We focus on the things that are current right now in everyone's mind. Who is not looking at wellness? Take a look at this chart. This is a chart that shows the published studies on oxidative stress over the last decades. Yeah, oxidative stress isn't going anywhere. We better find a way to take care of it, right? And then take a look. What are people focusing on right now? This was done a little while ago. Let me tell you what, if it was 35% in wellness a few years ago, I can't even imagine where it's at right now. This is what everyone is talking about and thinking about. They want to feel and look better, right? And they want to do it in a proactive manner. So you know what? You may be one of those people that are looking for something else to help along with the job that you've had. Maybe you've had to be stuck inside at your home. Maybe you need an extra side gig. Maybe there's something that you could use to help a little bit with your income and your family. This is a great way to be able to share, have fun, help people with their health, and actually have an income from it. And if you look on here, you'll see we have levels from Pro 1 to Pro 10. And you know what? At Pro 3, which is a really easy level to attain, we're talking about a $600 on average a month. Right now, that could make a big impact for a lot of families, right? So if you're looking for something in terms of helping to build your dream style, this might be an answer for you. For me, I looked at it and I thought it was the perfect meld. I can work from home. I've been working from home. More importantly, I can work anywhere. And my grandkids love that. They love that I can just come over to Kentucky. I can go there. I can go to North Carolina with them. I can go to all the places we go because I can do this anywhere. I love social sharing. Obviously, I love talking and I love taking care of people. So I love talking about what we do. And it's a virtual office. I don't have to have a bunch of inventory. And it makes it really simple to have minimal business assets. More importantly, I now have my own personal online store. Who wouldn't want that? That's awesome, right? So I don't know where you find yourself after hearing this, and I apologize for my technical difficulties. I'm a scientist, unfortunately, not an IT person. So thank you for bearing with me. But get back with the person that invited you tonight. If you need more information, or maybe you'd like to become a customer and we can give you more information on those products, or maybe you'd like to join our team. We would love that too. So thank you very much. I hope you have a great evening. And again, thank you so much for your patience. I hope you have a great and healthy evening.